Alright, hello moto vloggers. Thanks for coming along on this ride today. We are starting from the town of Robinsville, North Carolina, and we're headed up to the Tail of the Dragon. So we're going to have a little fun today. Going to ride through the Dragon, stop by, maybe show you the gift shop and place to eat there, and then hang out in one of the curves to get some footage for you and get a better taste for what it's like. So hope you enjoy this video. And we are on 129 and we're headed toward kind of the main junction where 28 and 129 come together at the beginning of the Tail of the Dragons. So we're headed up 129 north, and I have a feeling there's going to be a ton of motorcycles out today. This is a Friday, so there should be no shortage of motorcycles when we get up to the Dragon. Also, sometimes there are different makes of automobiles, cars, and they have rallies over here. And a lot of times you will see one specific make of a car that has been tricked out and just crazy fast and handles well. So there may be some of those up here as well. So the Tail of the Dragon, you can look it up online. I've been through quite a few times, and quite frankly, the type of riding that I enjoy is more like what we're doing right here, as you can see. Instead of the really tight turns. Now, don't get me wrong, it's fun, but the Tail of the Dragon it can be very intense, and here's why. You must concentrate, really, you have to concentrate the whole time on where you're at, what's going on. You can't be consumed with who's coming towards you, or, well, let me restate that. Not that you can't be consumed, you can't really be looking around at the scenery. If you're going to do that, pull off the curb. But you must be consumed with everyone that's around you, whether it's vehicles or cars or other motorcyclists, and you've got to ride at your own pace, obviously. And if a faster rider comes up behind you, and trust me, they will, there's guys over here every weekend, and they ride this like it's their backyard. But there are guys over here who are not ready to ride it like their backyard, and I have witnessed over and over, I can't tell you the number of times sitting in one of the curves just watching, I have witnessed guys crossing the center line, coming so close to hitting oncoming traffic. And so that's one of my biggest concerns as I'm riding through the Dragon is, wow, you know, somebody could cross the line and just nail me at any point because the curves are so that intense. So that's my biggest concern when riding the Dragon, is other riders and what dumb decisions or choices they may make. Because your life could end in an instant. And stories of guys losing their life, men and women over here, happen almost monthly. You hear of them crashing all the time. As a matter of fact, you can YouTube Tail of the Dragon crashes, and my guess is there would be a ton that would show up. So anyway, I don't mean to talk down about it. It is fun. If you've never experienced it, I'd definitely say, yeah, you need to come and ride the Dragon. There's a number of high quality photo or photographers who sit in various corners, and that's how they make their living. They are great shots view on your back, and then you simply log on the next day and you can look at all the shots, choose which ones you like, and actually purchase them right there online. You know, I got to tell you, this ride from Robinsville up to the beginning of the Tail of the Dragon on 129 is a lot of fun. It's actually my kind of road. Again, got the river kind of coming along over to our side. Carving our way through the mountains. You know, another thing about riding right after the rain, especially in a popular motorcycle spot, so many of these guys ride this thing with really soft tires, and they're laying the rubber down. So you get that rubber in all those corners and all that water just hitting it. It can be a disaster. So I just want to be careful. So we're coming up on the main entrance to the Tail of the Dragon. And I can already see there is a ton of bikers out today. So we're going to cruise in here. I'm going to get something cold to drink before we head up into the area. But you can see all kinds of motorcycles everywhere. It's a nice little motel they have here on the right. And there's the tree of shame. I'll show you more about that a little bit later. Some guy in a hurry on a V-Strom. But we've got bikes pretty much everywhere. Here's a nice place to get your picture taken right up here with the Dragon. See to my right. Over here to the left is a general store, place for fuel, place to eat, all kinds of things like that. Kind of got to watch where you're going here, because there's bikes literally everywhere. This is one of the busiest I think I've seen this place in a long time. So we're just going to stop here long enough actually to get something to drink. Then we'll head on. Then we'll come back a little later and give you a better shot of it. Alright guys, welcome to the Tail of the Dragon, 129 North. There's also over my left here a place that you can stop in, get a bite to eat, the souvenir. But the big one was the one we were just at. Alright, so let's go see how wet these roads are, and maybe how aggressive or not aggressive we can ride them. Now, believe it or not, there are always police. They're always policing this area, obviously because of all the motorcycle traffic, so you have to watch your speed. And I gotta say, you know, unless you're just ridiculous, it doesn't appear that they're pulling guys over and not letting them join, as long as they're riding within some kind of reasonability. Well, we're still getting some rain here, so I don't know what we're going to be able to do. We're climbing up to the top of the mountain where the Dragon actually starts here. And we moved from North Carolina into the state of Tennessee. So the state of Tennessee is the Tail of the Dragon. But obviously the gift shop's back there in North Carolina. So we're officially on the Tail of the Dragon. And we're just going to kind of cruise through here because of the road conditions. Actually, it's nice up overhead now. And while we're going through, I'm going to try and scope out a good place to set up camp on the way back. When I mean camp, I mean to get out a little Kermit motorcycle chair, kick back and relax and enjoy life, working hard. It's great to be able to come out and spend a day or so enjoying what you love to do, what you enjoy doing. Not that it's all about you or us, but we need to always take the time to rest up, right? Yeah. So, as you can see, we're kind of cruising to the Tail of the Dragon here, and here's a corner that may be a possibility on the way back. I want to try and find one that kind of has a deep pocket so I can get back a little bit. I just really, truly do not trust some of these guys. And I'd like to find one in the shade. So if this rain would stop, this would obviously be a lot more fun. But we go anyway. How's this for the Tail of the Dragon in the rain while the sun is shining? I gotta say, it's not slowing a lot of these guys down. There was a corner, but I don't like the way that looked. So again, remembering just how slick some of these corners are with all the rubber that's been put down in the rain, it causing that rubber to come up and expand or do its thing, and becomes very hazardous. I wish we could really take this GS and show you what it'll do through here, but that would not be smart. I know you understand that. There's a bunch of bikes and some cars. But those are Subarus. Some kind. They may be having some kind of Subaru challenge. Now there looks like a great place to set up. So I'll have to remember that. We'll have to remember that. Trying to get a marker so I can So if this is your first time on the Tail of the Dragon, welcome. Glad you could ride along. Here comes the first photo shoot by killboy.com. Shooting away at me, and tomorrow I can go to killboy.com and look up the images. They had them categorized by the type of bike, sport bike or dual sport or whatever it may be. Obviously not a lot of bikes out because the roads are still wet. Just a few here and there. And they're, for the most part, are riding like me. Very cautious. Over here to my right is Dual Sport Road, that is Parsons Branch Road. Will actually take you down into Cades Cove, Tennessee, very popular tourist site just outside of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. But it's one way, you can't turn there and go that way. You have to come from Cades Cove out. I've done it before. Actually, there's a video of me on Parsons Branch on the YouTube channel. It's just youtube.com/realmotovlog. Or you can also check it out over on the website at realmotovlog.com. Here's 129 photos. They're going to get some photos of me riding in the rain, going really slow. A lot of guys like to come through here, and obviously they take joy in how far they can lean the bike over. I find no joy in that today. And like 129 photos, same as Killboy, can go online. And I guess the more competition, the better there. You go on, find the pictures you like best. If you want to purchase them, you can. I was talking with someone last night at the cabin, and he was saying, well, I'll tell you how to do that. He said you go to their website and you pull up your pictures, and then you take a picture of it with your phone. And I'm like, no. I just looked at him and I said, please don't do that, man. That's how these guys make their living. If you're going to use the photo, what's a few bucks for something you may do once in your life, a couple times for most guys that don't live in this area? You know, pay with the news crew. But pay for what you do. There's some guys that are running pretty strong for witness. But anyway, pay the guys their due. Don't be trying to cheat them out of their work. Anyway, I'm just ranting and raving a little bit. Plus, the quality of the photo is going to be horrible. If you're going to blow it up to any size to put in your garage or wall, wouldn't be wise. All right. As you can see, it's just one turn after another. Woo! And if you haven't YouTubed this place and you haven't had a chance to be here, and man, some of these guys that ride this is just unbelievable. How good they are, or how stupid they are. One of the two things, probably both. And one of their goals is to drag the pegs on the bottom of their bike, or to drag their knee, and see how far they can lean their bike over. So some of the bikes are starting to get cranked back up, as you can see in the video. Quite a few coming through. Another GS. I was trying to think what it would be like if you've never been able to be or experience curves like this on your motorcycle. And all you're used to is kind of flat and straight. What that would be like. Would it freak you out? You know, what are your thoughts on that, guys? So I was thinking, yeah, here's Killboy again, kind of at the other end of the Dragon. We're coming up toward the end of it. We've almost made a complete ride through it. You can see it's dry right here where the sun's hitting it. Doesn't even look like it's rained on this end of the Dragon. Well, maybe a little bit, yeah. Some more photographers. So if you are hanging in there with me, you're probably saying, man, that's a lot of curves. And you are right. How many curves can you go around? Just switched over to dynamic mode from rain mode that we were in riding through the Dragon there, and it's just amazing to me how much better this bike handles and runs in the dynamic, how it's set up. You can just take these curves and it just hugs right in there. Okay guys, I'm in the tail of the Dragon, set up in one of the turns. I'll kind of show you my setup here. You can see you got a pretty good sharp turn right there, comes down around this turn here and down around another one, so kind of like a big S turn with, and I did find a good wide pull off. You can see here, just had a little snack. Always fun, love to come out here and sit up in the corner and relax. You can have a stogie, eat a little snack. Here comes some guys on some bikes now. We'll see what we got. There's my setup, by the way. The roads are still a little bit damp, so guys are kind of watching it, being careful. My bike, helmet, case, oh, and right here, this little beauty to enjoy, which is the new My Father Connecticut. My Father Connecticut. This thing is really spicy too. I've had one. So yeah, we're going to sit down and relax, and I hope to get you guys some footage here. If this road will dry out some more, some guys coming by here. Looks like the traffic's picking up a little bit. Still wet though. Ducati. Okay, that right there is why you got to be careful around every corner. Some guy is lost. Definitely taking the wrong road. Pulling a huge camper. Well, so far, roads are still kind of trying to dry out. And not seeing a lot of sport riders, so as soon as these start drying out a little bit more, I bet you we get some pretty heavy traffic. And we got some guys on their scooters. Gotta love that. Somebody's down. Somebody just had a crash here, a girl. Looks like she's okay. Flag these people. Well, it looks like she's okay. Place, no good place to wreck, but right there in this corner is pretty bad. You okay? That just goes to show you, it can happen so quick. She just came around the corner up here where I was at. You could hear her going, whee! Then all of a sudden, crash. There's some excitement. You hate to see that happen, but she was okay. Thank goodness. Lots of cruisers out today. I guess the sport bikes are kind of waiting for it to dry up a little bit more, I guess. We'll check in on the Stogie, the My Father Connecticut. It's doing good. Very spicy little thing, but it's good. Guy that super motard in the back, he's just looking for a place to pass. These super motards, man, they come around through here, they are flying.
He'll be lucky to make it to the end. Watch this, guys.